when a game turned into a battlefield. Football, it's called the beautiful game, a sport that unites nations, brings people together, and creates heroes. But what happens when football does the opposite? What happens when a match doesn't only decide who's the best on the pitch, but starts a football war? The year is 1969, and in Central America, tensions between El Salvador and Honduras are at a boiling point. The two countries are struggling with political, economical, and land disputes. The situation is dire, but nobody expects that a football match could be the spark that sets the region on fire. But that's exactly what happened. It's the World Cup qualifiers. El Salvador and Honduras are both battling for a spot in the 1970 World Cup in Mexico. The competition is fierce. This is not about just football, it's about pride, nation honor, and a rivalry that runs deeper than the game itself. The first match is held in Tegucigalpa, the capital of Honduras. The atmosphere is fierce, and the Honduras fans are out in full force. And the tension is palpable. Honduras wins 1-0, but the real action starts after the final whistle. Back in El Salvador, news of their team's loss is met with outrage, and violence erupts in the streets. A week later, the second leg takes place in San Salvador, and it's payback time. The Salvadoran fans are in no mood to be hospitable, and now it's their turn. The night before the match, the Honduras players are kept awake with the deafening noise of fireworks and car horns outside their hotel, hardly the ideal pre-game preparation. On the pitch, El Salvador demolishes Honduras 3-0. The crowd is ecstatic. But the victory is overshadowed by the escalating violence. Honduras supporters and immigrants in El Salvador become targets of brutal attacks, and the situation between the two countries reaches a breaking point, with both teams having won one game each, and the tie is now set to be decided in a third match on a neutral ground in Mexico City. The tension is unbearable. The players take to the field, but in the stands and back home, the hostility is palpable. So El Salvador wins the match 3-2 after extra time, securing their place in the World Cup. But instead of a celebration, what follows is nothing short of a nightmare. On July 14, 1969, just 2 weeks after the final whistle, El Salvador and Honduras are at war. Yes, you heard that right. A full-scale military conflict erupts, known as the Football War. It's a brief but brutal war that lasts over 100 hours, resulting in thousands of casualties and displacing over 10,000 people. Airstrikes, ground battles, and devastation sweep through both countries. The war may have lasted only for 4 days, but the scars it left last far longer. The football war is a tragic reminder of how deeply rooted tensions can turn even a sport designed to bring joy into a trigger for violence. The war officially ended with a ceasefire on July 18, 1969, but the animosity between the two countries lingered for years. The irony, neither of the two teams made it past the first round of the 1970 World Cup. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe for more football stories.